Good morning and welcome to Metro Monday. We're excited to have one of our very own with us today, David Vann. Not only is David a true entrepreneur, but he also leads his business with intention and purpose, which we've been speaking about a lot the past few weeks. He's built his success by design, not default. And in just a few moments, we're going to hear directly from David as he shares his insights and experiences. But first, I'd like to set the stage and share my screen with you to introduce today's topic. So let me share my screen. And we're going to be talking about if it's not in your calendar, it's just not happening. Take control of your business and life. Are you working nights, missing family dinners, feeling burnt out, and saying, this business is too hard? Then it's time to have a mind shift. Top agents don't work harder, they calendar smarter. The calendar equals your success. If it's not in your calendar, it won't happen. Your calendar should reflect your priorities, not your availability. Stop doing to-do lists. Use calendar with commitment time blocks. The most successful agents don't leave their success to chance. They schedule it with intention and protect their commitments. The excuse of not enough time is a real estate killer. Everyone has a different bandwidth, but time management is actually a mental muscle. High performers don't complain about time, they take control of it. Busy work versus productive work. Busy work actually creates the illusion of productivity while stealing time away from activities that actually grow your business. Don't fall into that trap. An example of this would be cleaning your desk, redesigning your website, ordering new business cards. That's like cleaning the dorm room whenever you're in the final week of exams. It feels productive, delays what actually moves the needle. Lead generation and conversion is what moves that needle. Stop being a fast food agent. Being instantly available is not a value proposition, it's burnout. That's what it looks like, burnout. Professionals set boundaries. They protect their most important income producing time. Your lead generation block is an appointment. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Your morning time block is sacred. So be sure that you're blocking out time, which begins at 8:30 in the morning. Preparation and mindset. Start your day with intention. Organize your workspace. Review your goals and get into a productive mindset. At between 9 and 11 o'clock, that's your lead generation. It's non-negotiable. This is your money-making zone. Block it, protect it, treat it like a client appointment. How about this? 10 hours times 52 weeks is 520 hours a year that you'll be focusing on lead generation. Think of how that compounded effect will have an effect on your income. Between 11 and 12, you're going to need to follow up and respond. Now is the time that you're going to be returning calls, replying to emails, and handling text messages. You've earned the right to respond on your schedule, not react all day long. From 12 to 1 o'clock, that's your lunch and your reset, refuel, reboot, and take a moment for yourself. Between 1 and 2 p.m., that's your time for lead conversion and follow-up. Connect and nurture warm leads and active clients. Move them forward in your pipeline. Between 2 and 3 p.m., that's your business servicing time, handling paperwork, transaction management, vendor calls, and internal systems, working on those. From 4 to 6, you're out listing and showing property. That's prime time for client-facing appointments. There is an option to that, those times. You might want to reserve between 6 and 8, 2 times a week for those that are ready to sign clients, listing appointments and or showing appointments where they're ready to sign. And 6 p.m. and after, for a life balance, you need to focus on family and personal time. Be sure that you're protecting your evenings. You've earned it by working intentional all day long. Don't forget to erase and replace rule. The erase and replace rule is where life happens. If you've missed lead generation block time because of a funeral or a recital or an emergency, replace it later. For example, instead of working 2 hours the day before on lead gen, work 3. And then the following day after your emergency, you'll work 3 hours instead of 2. Never skip it. Always reschedule it. Your bonus mindset is that you are a professional. Clients will respect your calendar. And if you're an attorney or a doctor, they have structured hours. So why shouldn't you? You choose what kind of real estate professional you are. You're either the Colonel Sanders or you're a fine dining agent. You're either cheap chicken or have quality experience. So the 10 takeaways today, the key takeaway today, this is slide number 10, is to time block your priorities. Lead gen, conversions, conversations, fitness, and family and life events. Get your rest as well. That's very important. Honor your calendar. Don't just build it. Stop pleasing everyone. Protect your mornings. Stop working nights unless it's a strategic choice. Choose control, get clarity, and create your own results. Now, with that being said, today we do have David with us. And David, thank you for being here with us. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that we can see each other. So I appreciate you being here and taking time to share with us today. And the first thing that I wanted to ask, if you could just give us a little background about how long you've been in the business, and most everybody knows you, but for those that are new to our company that may not know you, I'd really like to have you give yourself a little introduction.
Well, thank you, Janine. It's been a great pleasure to work here at RE/MAX Metro for the last, I think about 15 or 16 years. I've been in the business about 18 or 19 years. Over that time, you do hundreds of transactions. It stacks up on you. You don't realize how much has happened over the years, and you look back and you wish you remembered all your clients' names.
Right.
But but you don't. You got to keep up with them somewhere. And I came from a engineering background and sales background in my first career, and then this is my second career, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of money. It's been good times and bad times. Markets have been up, markets have been down. It's there's a lot to learn in each of those markets, and being able to take advantage of the opportunity to learn in each of those markets is something you can always bring to your clients. And that's I mean, it's just something I really enjoy. Both of my brothers are realtors in Washington, D.C. I had an aunt who passed recently. She was a 40-year, 50-year realtor in North Carolina, where I grew up, and it's been in the family, and it's just a great life. And that's what I would say about selling real estate. It's a great life.
That's awesome. And I didn't know that about all of your family being in the business. That's fantastic. So yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about what mental shift or philosophy that helped you the most in creating balance without compromising your production. Can you help us with that?
Yeah, I try to answer some of these questions. I wrote some answers down, so I'm going to read some of them so I could be more concise and not just ramble on. But I think it's mostly about feeling the freedom of our occupation, the freedom to work as hard as you want to create the success that you need or want. You know that hard work is required, but feel comfortable in your time away. If you're going to answer the phone in a personal time because a client needs you, you need to answer without frustration. Only answer if you are in a time frame and only answer if you're in a frame of mind to be kind and helpful. If you don't think you can do that, you need to pass on the call. Feel free to limit the call to just a few minutes if you're in a personal time or an away time. Answering the call, get some answers to your client quickly, and if they need more time, offer to have a more in-depth call at a scheduled time. I think it's nice to answer the phone if you can make it quick. They appreciate it. It's fine. And it's a part of the business, unfortunately. But you don't have to have a 30-minute conversation with that person who's called without an appointment. Respect your time, answer their questions, and then say, I really can't finish this in-depth conversation right now, but I can schedule a time for it.
I love that advice. That's awesome, David. Great. When your business starts to accelerate and you begin to feel overwhelmed, what or how do you reset your strategy?
I think when you're overwhelmed with business, you have to think that gratitude is the real answer here. Becoming frustrated or overwhelmed is natural when there is so much to do. Managing the workload and finding ways to manage time and prioritize clients and efforts is the key. It certainly feels like pressure. Writing down the tasks, the needs, the deliverables, and making the plan is the best way to relieve the stress. Take it off your mind, put it down on paper, schedule it in blocks of time on your calendar. That's the way to overcome overwhelm.
Absolutely. It is. And it's exactly what we were saying just a few moments ago, that I was saying is that time blocking everything helps alleviate any anxieties, any stress, anything that we feel in this business. What are your
I was
non-negotiables in your calendar and how do you protect them from distractions?
All right, I'm going to go back to that last one. Here I go, talking too much. But I do think that over the years, I do find that I'm probably more distressed when when I don't have a lot of business. That's something that, that sort of feeling that gratitude about being overwhelmed with business or things you need to do. Um, you know, I think today, after being experienced, I'm much more nervous and worried if I'm not busy.
Yes.
So, um, but to answer your question about non-negotiables in your calendar and how do you protect them, exercise is one of the very top requirements for me. If you do not have your health, then what are you working for? Longevity, a sharp mind, a healthy body is truly the beginning and foundation for a strong mental and physical future. Scheduling important events for your family is the next item for your calendar. These opportunities do not return. Don't miss them. Add them to your calendar, prioritize them. There are lots of hours of the day, morning, evening, and night when real estate can be accomplished. That's a beautiful gift. So when something's important in your life that you need to do for your health or your family, put that on the calendar and respect it. And find a time to work with people at another time. And I start on Sunday. I'll do a planning session with myself. I haven't been doing this always, but I do a planning session on Sunday where I sort out with my wife, who also has a full-time job, you know, who's taking the kids when and where, what do I need to block off? Early mornings are easy. Not a lot of real estate happening between 6 and 8 or 6 and 9 in the morning. Those are times when you can, take kids to school or whatever. But blocking your time out for those things is, we'll get back more into that. But that's those are the non-negotiables: your health and your family.
And that's so true because early in my career, I was what we call the pop-up agent. Okay, anytime that somebody wanted me to go, I went. And I missed out on a lot of our kids' events. And you can't get that time back. So learn that lesson early in your career, for those of you that are just beginning. All right. Are there any specific routines or rituals that you follow that have helped you anchor your day for maximum performance?
So I don't want to be too repetitive, so I'll try to move quick. Time blocking is super important. It should be done in advance. I've adopted the practice of this Sunday meeting with myself to uh, plan several time blocks on the calendar. Plan for kids and then lock in on the workspaces. A lot of the kid stuff tends to sort of happen. You might need to move them around between 3 and 5 or 4 and 5, but you can really restart your real estate day again around 4 o'clock because people start to get off work. They want to see property. They want to go show property. They want to, see a listing. You might need to open up. You may want to meet with them to, sign a listing agreement. There's that block of time in there between, you know, 4 or 5 that runs till 6 or 7. 2 or 3 hours in that period of the day is an important part of the real estate day. That's when people have done, when they have jobs and they have money and they can buy property, that's when they have an opportunity to get out and talk about something that's outside of the workspace. Your being available during those times opens up other blocks of time during the day for you. So, um, get it blocked, get your appointments made, control your schedule at home and in the field, and make accommodations for your spouse or your partner, and then try to stay locked in on that schedule. Keep in mind it's going to change, and you just need. And you talked about it in your slides that if you have a time block to do a podcast or you're going to write certain emails or whatever, move that around. If you have to replace it, move it, whatever, you've got to do those things. And I'll say one more thing about time blocking. I started getting better at time blocking when I started taking that time block and not only just saying, okay, I'm going to call prospective clients. I also went into the notes of that calendar and I wrote the names of the people who I was going to call. If you go ahead and plan that and you in your mind know you're going to call these 5 people during that period, when you get ready to call them, you're going to have thought about what you're going to say. And that's real important to know what you're going to say to these people and not waste their time. Hey, how you doing? Hey, here's something I need to tell you about. Having valuable information, and really, you don't want to open up that block of time and say, what am I going to do?
Right.
That's not what you want to do. You want to know what you're going to do when you block that time. That's a huge key, in my opinion.
Great. Great information.
Absolutely.
All right. What lead generation strategy or habit consistently brings you the highest quality clients?
I call that hand-to-hand combat.
Love it.
I find that interacting in the community and being a part of an organization is the best way to know more people and be trusted by them. People like to trust people they know. If you are also successful, then you will be chosen. My greatest successes and best lead generation strategy was my relationships in the kids' schools, coaching at the Northeast Little League, participating in Leadership St. Pete and Leadership Pinellas, church involvement. That's the basis and foundation. Then referrals from past clients and their families and other agents. You know, once you have that relationship, you've done a good job for somebody, they want to refer you to somebody they care about, and that's important. That trust is how you continue to get those referrals. Open houses are also a great place to meet people and gain clients, especially in this market. I mean, I try to use my personality and my knowledge and my willingness to help, when I'm in hand-to-hand situations with people, so they can get to know me as quickly as possible, and then hopefully they'll feel comfortable.
Okay. All right. Um, Along those same lines, how do you approach client services differently with high net worth individuals, and what time-saving systems help you maintain that standard?
These types of clients want to know that you deeply understand the neighborhoods, homes, and markets where you work and where they are shopping. They want an expert. They expect to hire the best people in the business to be part of their decision making. So The most important thing you bring to them is knowledge about the market. They want someone who also knows the ropes of the practice, what things are negotiable, what things are not negotiable. How does it work down here in St. Pete or in Florida? How does the real estate practice work? They're not looking for a lot of chatter, but they want to have some fun. Make it fun. Show them fantastic homes about their price range, um, around their price range, and let them judge the difference in these homes and let them decide the value of what they would like to purchase. You never know how much they're going to pay, and don't underestimate it. Find them something they're going to love and show it to them.
Okay, yes, very good. What about, do you delegate or automate any client touch points? And if so, what tools or team members have made the biggest difference in that?
I have to say, the transaction coordinator has probably been the most important touch point for clients. You know, they're very helpful. They take a lot of paperwork away from your hands and allow you to be the subject matter expert. If the client has a question, you can be there to answer their needs. Be the expert, handling the milestones, deadlines, initials, and signatures. This should be in the hands of a proficient transaction coordinator. It makes you look important and busy. Your time is valuable. Act like it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because you can make the most money out in the field not doing those types of activities, for
You
sure.
understand those things. You can answer those questions if they need answers, but you don't need to be the guy pushing the pencil on it.
Right, right. Okay, was there ever a moment where you had to make a difficult choice to protect your time or family? And how did that impact your business long term?
I'm sure I have. If you're a realtor, you have absolutely been in that position. You hope that you have a spouse or partner that supports what you're doing. Um, I try to be honest with my clients about my life and their importance in my life. They know when they are calling at night, when they are calling on the weekend. My willingness to speak to them is important. Their willingness to appreciate my time tells about who they are, and that's good. That's fine. I mean, you just got to know what you're dealing with. They normally are respectful. They know that realtors work a lot of hours, and generally they're willing to make the conversation short. Like I said earlier, if something that's important, they're calling on a weekend. I mean, you kind of answer the phone with them. Wow, this must really be important. How can I help you? What can I do? And then hopefully you can set that up for just an answer that will help them. It might take 15 minutes, but if you can reschedule it, it's fine. If it's germane and important, it's going to be a deal for you. Make the deal. Right.
Absolutely. hmm Absolutely. If they're ready to sign on the dotted line, do it.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, if you're in a critical point, I mean, if your daughter's getting married, I mean, don't answer the phone. I mean, your client should know, and you should share that with your client. Hey, this is where I am. This is what's going on in my life right now. I can't talk. I mean, I can talk to you tomorrow. I mean, protect yourself. It's fine. They should respect that.
absolutely. So, all right, well, let's talk a little bit about consistency. What has allowed you to maintain consistency year after year without getting burnout?
Yeah, I just think you have to focus on the joy of what we do. Enjoy the small victories and be amazed at the huge victories. It's really amazing when you close a deal for the amount of an entire annual salary. I mean, those are just remarkable days. Um, it's it's also amazing when you have helped people move on in their lives and they are so appreciative and thankful for your work. Those are the joys, but none come without hard work. Just remember you are getting there. It's worth it. Nothing is worthy without significant work and several failures along the way. Fix your mindset to quickly forget the failures. Take what you can and know you did your best and next.
Absolutely. So, what do you wish that agents early in their career understand about building a substantial high-end business? What things can help them with that?
I mean, I think managing the client base, building your contact database, working the database in a manner that does not annoy but stays in touch. I mean, I think there's a balance there.
Mhm.
Um, you know, it's so easy to say, but it's difficult to do. High-end clients don't want to hear from you every other month. I mean, they're busy. Don't annoy them. They know that you've done a good job for them. Stay in touch, but use more passive methods to stay in touch with clients and provide valuable information. Use education as a way to stay in touch. You're providing valuable information to them about the market and about real estate, and that's what you need to stay in touch with. Let them know that you're bringing valuable information every time you get in touch with them.
Exactly. And that brings up a good point because so many times, even myself, I get a lot of information throughout the a couple of weeks that I really could care less about. And so keeping it of value is absolutely critical. And the last thing that I have for you, David, is looking ahead. How are you designing your business for scalability and longevity while still um, preserving your lifestyle? Because I know you're a busy man and you do a
Yes,
lot of things throughout the day.
It's fun. Being busy keeps me calm, I think. So, mainly I'm working to have, solid lead generation. What I said about young agents and new agents, building that database and managing it. um, you know, Having solid lead generation. And for me, focusing on higher price point clients is more fun for me and the higher price points. But, we still need to pay the bills and help close referrals from past clients. It's a part of the family referral base, adult children, parents, grandparents, people moving to the next chapter, whether it's, divorce or death or whatever. I mean, there's just things you do for your community and for people in your database that, I mean, even if they're not $1 million, I mean, you still pay bills and, 500 to $700,000 transactions. I mean, whatever. I mean, whatever your price points are, continuing to build to that higher price point. And I think that's the thing for me. It's more interesting and more rewarding and more exciting in the higher price points. It's what happens after 18 years in the business and having done both. But I like working with people and meeting new people. So I think that's that's the part of it. But I think in terms of scalability, the higher price points, I don't know. I just think it's fun. That's all.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like to say to our group?
I said a lot.
And
yes,
we
you did.
appreciate all your thoughts and
I hope it's
Absolutely.
comments.
not too much. I'm always happy to help. So if
Never too
anybody has
much.
questions, happy to do it.
Yeah. Well, we truly thank you. And Larry, is there anything that you would like to say?
And David, I really appreciate you. Appreciate your mindset, sharing all the information. I think it'd be helpful to a lot of our agents that are up and coming. And we wish you continued success. If you follow your calendar and do the things that you're doing now, where will you be this time next year?
I hear you. That's what I like.
Yeah.
Thank you for
So,
having me. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. Nice to be with you guys.
Thank you,
all
David.
right. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Bye for
Okay.
now. Bye
Bye.
bye.